Yeah. You know what time it is, Janae. You ain't been a part of this A-list in a while, but it's my latest A-list. Now that the All-Star break has come and gone, and we're fading into the twilight of this NBA season. The playoffs are about to approach. At this particular moment, I'm going to give you my top 5 teams that I'm putting on to possibly win the top 5 favorites to win the NBA title this year. Now, Janae, Molly Q knows this. The list is fluid. Okay? Let's go to number 5 on the list, please. Give it to me right now. Where is it? I want to see it. Put it up there, damn it. That's what I'm talking about. It's the Miami Heat. Now, I will admit, I am somewhat influenced by the fact that I just spent 2 days in South Beach. It is something that is a wish and a dream of mine to be there for the NBA Finals yet again. But I like Jimmy Butler and what my brother is doing. I think Tyler Hero was an all-star. Bam Adebayo can play. Duncan Robinson is a marksman. I like what I'm seeing from the Miami Heat right now, and I think their chemistry, their cohesiveness, the fact that they didn't make a move for the trading deadline because they weren't looking to, they're very confident and comfortable with themselves. Gotta give love where it's due. They're a top 5 team. Let's go to number 4 on the list. The reigning, defending NBA champion Milwaukee Bucks. That's the reason right there. They're top 4. Giannis Antetokounmpo, he's not going anywhere. He'll be there. Mr. Mid-Range himself, Middleton, has been struggling early on this season. This brother ain't going to stay that way. Drew Holiday is playing good basketball, averaging over 18 a game, shooting over 50%. We know he's a big-time defender as well. I understand people are questioning their depth, but I love the fact that Bobby Portis is doing something for them this year. I got them as top 4. Let's go to number 3 on the list, please. It's the Brooklyn Nets. Let's just call it what it is. Kyrie and KD are showstoppers and offensive juggernauts. When you combine that with the playmaker and the defensive stalwart that is Ben Simmons, assuming he plays, and then you look at Seth Curry being added to the mix, so with Patty Mills or Seth Curry, you got somebody on the court, and Joe Harris, you got somebody on the court for 48 minutes that can give you plus 40% from 3. You got Andre Drummond, who's good for 15 to 20 rebounds a night if you ask him to, and you need him to do that. The Nets are no joke. Daryl Morey of the Philadelphia 76ers gave them every weak piece that they needed to fill. That's what he did. He gave them, the Brooklyn Nets, all of these weapons. Improved the 76ers, but not as much as he improved the Brooklyn Nets. Let's go to number 2 on the list, please. Excuse me. Put it right up there. It's the Phoenix Suns. I know CP3 is out for 6 to 8 weeks. I understand that Monty Williams, Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, and those boys got their work cut out for them. But the bottom line is CP3 will be back for the postseason. So I look at it from that perspective, and I say the best team in basketball at this moment in time with the best record has to be a top 2 team as a favorite to win the title. They went to the finals last year. That experience will help them this year. They ain't number 1 now. We know who number 1 is for me. It is the Golden State Warriors. They have the greatest shooter man has ever seen. The greatest shooter God ever created. The greatest shooter in the history of man. And oh, by the way, in Klay Thompson, they have a top 5 shooter of all time who is on the come up, getting better and better and better and more comfortable after a 2-year hiatus. We got Draymond Green with his defensive prowess. We got Wiseman coming back, and we got other pieces as well. The Warriors are my favorites. Those are my top 5. The Warriors, the Suns, the Nets, the Bucks, the Heat.
If the list, Stephen A, is so fluid, and I know this is Chiney, not Stephen A, then where are the Grizzlies at? I mean, they're right now 3rd in the league in the standings, 1 loss behind the Warriors, who you have number 1 overall. Right. Let's talk about Ja leading the league in points per game in the paint. 1 more point per game than Giannis. Giannis, who controls the paint and dominating the league. Ja, that is number 2 in fast break points, right behind LeBron James. A top 10 team offensively and defensively with efficiency. Also, let's talk about how just overall this team has been consistent, whether Ja has been in or out. Where the Grizzlies at? And then also follow-up question. Clearly you believe more in Brooklyn than you do in Philly, even considering all those circumstances.
Okay, well, a couple of things. Let's get to your Memphis Grizzlies point first. Evidently, you've been talking to Jay Williams a lot. That ain't gonna help you. Jay was wrong too, and so are you. And here is the reason why. When you look at and Perk too. Here's the reason why. When you look at the Memphis Grizzlies, I'm going to Memphis to see these brothers. I'm very impressed with what I'm seeing, and I am a huge fan of Ja Morant. I think youth comes into the equation when you think about them ultimately going up against the Suns or the Warriors. And as a result, I think they fall before a conference finals berth. Otherwise, I would have put them in the top 5 and not the Heat. I think the Heat's experience can ultimately position them to knock off one of the big wigs in the Eastern Conference, more so than Memphis would knock off one of the big wigs in the Western Conference. That's why I have the Heat at 5 as opposed to Memphis. If Memphis was in the Heat, it was in the East, I would pick differently. And don't get me started with Philly. I need to see Embiid and Harden play together. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.